Did you know that a shocking 60% of the global population is unprepared for a financial collapse? That's right. More than half of the people in the world are not ready for an economic downturn. It's a surprising statistic, isn't it? But let's unravel it a bit more. What comes to your mind when you think of the reasons behind this lack of preparedness? Do you think it's because people don't earn enough? Or perhaps they don't have access to financial resources? While these reasons might be true for some, the main culprit is often something else: a lack of education or awareness about financial management. We live in a world where the economy's ups and downs are as unpredictable as the weather, and yet many people are not equipped with the basic knowledge and understanding required to navigate these financial storms. They're like sailors venturing out to sea without a compass, vulnerable and directionless. But why is this the case? Well, for starters, our education systems around the world rarely emphasize financial literacy. We're taught algebra and calculus, but not how to balance a checkbook or build a savings plan. Moreover, many people lack awareness about the importance of financial management. They're caught up in the daily grind, working hard to make ends meet, but not necessarily understanding how to make their money work for them. This lack of preparedness also stems from the human tendency to focus on the present at the expense of the future. We're wired to seek instant gratification, often overlooking the potential long-term consequences of our actions. This mindset, coupled with a lack of financial education, leaves the majority unprepared and vulnerable to financial collapse. And perhaps most alarmingly, this unpreparedness isn't limited to a specific demographic or socioeconomic group. It cuts across all ages, genders, and income levels. It's a widespread issue that needs immediate attention. So, let's pose a question that might feel a bit uncomfortable. If the economy collapsed tomorrow, how long could you survive? A week? A month? Or would you be drowning in regret over every dollar wasted? Mindless spending is a silent killer. Every wasted dollar weakens your financial safety net. Let's break this down. What is mindless spending really? It's the money that slips through your fingers without you even realizing it. It's the $4 coffee you grab every morning, the designer shirt on sale you just couldn't resist, the newest phone you didn't really need but bought anyway. It's the small, seemingly insignificant purchases that add up and silently eat into your financial security. The consequences of mindless spending are not immediate, and that's what makes it so dangerous. It's like a slow poison, eroding your financial health bit by bit until one day you wake up and realize you have nothing saved up for emergencies, let alone a financial collapse. The majority of people live paycheck to paycheck, not because they don't earn enough, but because they spend without thinking. They have no savings, no backup plan, and no way to cover rent, food, or emergencies in a financial collapse. Mindless spending isn't just about the money that's going out. It's also about the lost opportunities for that money to grow. Every dollar spent mindlessly is a dollar that could have been invested, a dollar that could have been saved for a rainy day, a dollar that could have brought you one step closer to financial security. But here's the kicker. Many of us are lulled into a false sense of security. We think we're okay because we can cover our bills because we have a steady income. But what if that income stops? What if the economy takes a sudden nosedive? How long before you start selling things just to survive? How soon before debt crushes you? What will you regret spending money on the most? Mindless spending is a silent killer lurking in the shadows of our daily lives. It's a habit that needs to be tamed, a behavior that needs to be controlled. It's time to wake up to the reality of our spending habits and start making conscious, deliberate decisions about our money. Are you ready? If your bank account suddenly froze, would you survive? Every subscription, every dining out experience, every unnecessary upgrade is a slow drain on your income. Imagine you're on a ship sailing through the vast ocean of your life. Now, imagine a tiny hole in that ship's hull, allowing water to seep in gradually, almost invisibly. That's what we call an invisible money leak. It's not a massive hole that causes an immediate catastrophe. Instead, it's a small, consistent leak that slowly fills your ship with water, threatening to sink it over time. These invisible leaks are everywhere in our lives. It's the streaming service you subscribe to for that one show and forgot to cancel. It's the gym membership you rarely use. It's the daily latte you grab on your way to work. It's the new phone you buy every year, even though your old one works perfectly fine. Each of these expenses, on their own, may not seem like much, but add them all together, and they become a significant drain on your income. They're like invisible termites, slowly eating away at your financial stability. What makes these leaks particularly dangerous is their invisibility. They're often small, discretionary expenses that we don't think twice about. They're automatic payments that we've forgotten about. They're impulse purchases that we justify as treats. But every dollar spent on these leaks is a dollar that could have been saved, invested, or used to build a financial safety net. The truth is, we often underestimate the power of small amounts. We think it's just $5 or it's only $10 a month. But over time, these small amounts add up. $5 a day turns into over $1,800 a year. $10 a month turns into $120 a year. And that's just for one leak. If you have multiple leaks, the damage is exponentially greater. So how do you plug these leaks? Start by tracking your spending. Identify where your money is going. Cancel unused subscriptions. Limit dining out. Think twice before upgrading your gadgets. Remember, every dollar saved is a dollar earned. Many people think they're okay until something bad happens. But by then, it's too late. The ship has already started sinking. Don't let invisible money leaks sink your financial ship. Be proactive. Plug those leaks. Build a stronger, more resilient financial life. If a recession hit tomorrow, how long before you start selling things just to survive? It's a question we don't like to think about, but it's crucial to confront it. The hard truth is, a financial collapse can happen, and when it does, it's not a pretty sight. The world we know can change in a blink. Jobs can disappear. Banks can freeze. And if you're not prepared, it can feel like the ground beneath you is crumbling. Imagine this. Your paycheck stops. Suddenly, every dollar spent on that daily latte, every cent wasted on a subscription you barely use, it all starts to matter. It starts to hurt. The money you thought was insignificant, the mindless spending you believed wouldn't impact your wealth, it all catches up with you. And before you know it, you're selling your valuables, your keepsakes, just to keep the lights on. This is not a doomsday prophecy. It's a possibility, a reality for many when the Great Recession hit in 2008. The question is, are you ready to face such a situation? Or will you be among those regretting every dollar wasted, every opportunity for saving missed? Let's pause for a moment and think. What are those things you'd regret spending money on? That latest smartphone upgrade when your old one was perfectly functional? Those designer shoes that you wore only once? The gym membership that you haven't used in months? Or perhaps it's the high-end coffee machine gathering dust on your kitchen counter. The truth is, it's not the big-ticket purchases alone that drain our resources. It's the small, repeated, mindless spending habits that slowly but steadily empty our pockets and leave us vulnerable. Now imagine a different scenario, a scenario where you've built a cushion, a safety net that can weather the storm. You've curbed your spending, saved diligently, and invested wisely. You've prepared for the worst while hoping for the best. How soon before debt crushes you? What will you regret spending money on the most? These questions are not meant to scare you, but to wake you up. To make you realize that a secure financial future isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. And it starts with understanding the hard truth and taking action today. Identify the spending triggers, cut silent expenses, build a crisis fund. These are the 3 pillars of surviving any financial collapse. Let's dive deeper. First, it's essential to identify your spending triggers. These are emotional or situational cues that prompt you to spend money, often mindlessly. For some, it might be stress or boredom. For others, it's the thrill of a sale or the need to keep up with the Joneses. By recognizing these triggers, you can develop strategies to resist the pull of impulsive spending and start to take control of your financial future. Next, we need to tackle silent expenses. These are the sneaky, recurring costs that slowly siphon away your hard-earned money. Maybe it's that gym membership you never use or the magazine subscription you forgot about. These silent expenses often go unnoticed but add up over time, draining your bank account drip by drip. It's time to take a fine-tooth comb to your expenditures and start cutting the fat. Now, let's talk about building a crisis fund. This isn't just a rainy day fund, it's an all-out storm fund. It's the financial safety net that will keep you afloat when the economy takes a nosedive. The size of your crisis fund will depend on your personal circumstances, but a good rule of thumb is to aim for 6 months of living expenses. That might sound like a daunting task, but remember, every dollar saved is a step towards financial resilience. But here's the key point. None of these strategies will work without a shift in mindset. The key to surviving a financial collapse isn't simply about having more money. It's about being smart with the money you have. It's about prioritizing long-term survival over short-term pleasures. It's about understanding the value of money and the power of financial intelligence. So let's get smart, let's get strategic, and let's start building a financial fortress that can withstand any economic storm. Because remember, the people who survive financial collapses aren't the richest. They're the smartest. Don't wait until it's too late. We're all aboard this financial roller coaster, and the more prepared we are, the better we can navigate the highs and lows. There's no time like the present to start fortifying your financial defenses. So how can you stay informed and prepared? Subscribe to our channel for more financial survival tips. We're here to help you identify those silent expenses, build a crisis fund, and shift your mindset towards long-term survival. Remember, the people who survive financial collapses aren't necessarily the richest, they're the smartest. They're the ones who have taken the time to educate themselves, to understand their spending habits, and to build a solid financial safety net. And you can be one of them. All it takes is the willingness to learn and the drive to make a change. So let's dive into this journey together. Subscribe for more financial survival tips. Remember, knowledge is power.